Hey Niisah, yeah, happy New Year. Have a good time, party it up. Have a shot for me. We're gonna be partying too, so well, just playing board games really with the kids and visiting some families and do some sparklers. So yeah, as far as Sam goes, yeah, let's go ahead and scrap the Node Red stuff. I thought it was pretty simple. First thought was just to install it and just set it up. Didn't realize how complicated it was to integrate all that stuff. So let's go ahead and get Sam's plan that he says. Have him do a video or something and describe it. I kind of want to know what that is. Once we get that solution, we'll put it on the back burner in case he leaves wherever. We can then kind of give the next programmer the solution, and then he can be caught up and do it. Let's go ahead and kind of recreate the tuner then. Just do Node, the Meteor, do that platform. Let's move away from AWS. Well, we're still using AWS, but we can set up through do Meteor, and then using that to launch Angular and all the other mean stack, yeah, mean stack stuff. But we need to kind of guide him more like, here, task number one. I think he created the login. Please install Meteor, install Node-RED, and all that other stuff into the Meteor Galaxy. So use Meteor to launch Angular, and then put everything into the Galaxy hosting with that, and the databases that's all there. And then once that's done, check. We'll mark that off, and then you need to tell them what's next. Install the login page for Core UI. Make sure I can log in, and make sure that you test it too, that you can log in and get to the next users and install and have multiple logins into Core UI. Great, boom. And then I think Daniel had already created the user interface, but it's in GitHub. So have him take a look at that, bring that over, and then install that with that. Now I deactivated Core UI licensing. It's actually open source. We don't really need all the extra pro features right now, because all we need is just linking it and then moving over. We don't need the fancy, buttons and stuff that they're selling. So let's just use a free version and save $50 a month. That could probably just go towards development. And if we do need it later on, then we can subscribe later on. But as of right now, I don't think so. And then once he does that and installs it, then you can log in, check it, make sure it's all done, and then say, hey, here, move that. Here's phase one of the video. Here's a list of settings. Make sure that you can then, create a bot on Haas and do the initial phase one and all that stuff, and see if we can get different results. He's done, move on to the next phase, and kind of guide him through that step. You're gonna have to handhold him, tell him what to do. Just this one part, take care of it. Take this one part, take care of it. Kind of give him the generalized, hey, figure it out on how to solve Node UI, Node-RED. That I don't think he's really that great in figuring that stuff out. Especially translating it, websites. He's trying to communicate with other people. There's like a language barrier. So he's kind of treating him like a work bee, I guess, and maybe we need to do the research on how to do that, and then say, hey, I think this is the best approach. Check it out, install this, did it work? And then you kind of decide, hey, maybe we'll go this route instead, and try the route. I check it out, cool, it didn't work. So I like to see kind of like a lot of implementation on the server, and kind of see progress on that end, because he's doing everything locally, and then I don't know what's going on his local machine. I want to see a lot of pushes, a lot of commits on GitHub, so I see a lot of codes being revised and pushed over to it, and that way I can see progress too in what he's doing. We can also connect GitHub with Hubstaff, so that when you tell them to do a task like, hey, do this UI stuff, that also somehow gets linked onto the GitHub task, and somehow with Hubstaff too. So maybe we can create a little I don't know. Check out how to manage all that stuff too, where you maybe create a little subtask instead of a general programming task. Say, hey, create the UI, and then record it to this one. It links up to GitHub. I know it links to this little task or this little project. So instead of a general programming task, I don't know if that helps. If that's too complicated, that's just a suggestion. But make sure that we kind of give him one little onesie task here and there, and that we're making progress onto the server, and that he's uploading constantly, and I'm seeing the updates. Because so far this whole month and a half, he's doing all this stuff, and he did something. I'm looking at the screenshots, but I have no delivery. He could just run off and be like, okay, cool, and we have nothing still. So once he commits, and that's the actual delivery, and then the next programmer can work off of what he had. He's documenting his revisions and putting good comments so that the next programmer can see the work and continue with it. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. Okay, is the revision history is important so that other programmers can kind of catch up from what he did, instead of like I just see a bunch of code, or he's run off with the code and I have nothing at the end of the day, and I just paid him for a month and a half with nothing to show for. So all right, so that's all I have. Let's go ahead with that. Give him any licenses, anything access that he needs. Let's try him for another month, and let's just move on. And yeah, that's probably the minimum viable product then, and let's kind of get forward with that and start getting more subscribers and sales so that we can keep them and hire more programmers. So it's it's kind of one of those things where I thought it was a small thing, and it's usually with housing projects too. You fix a simple toilet sinking thing, and all of a sudden it blows up. I broke this. I need a new part. I need to make 5 trips to Home Depot to get this proper part, the proper tools, and just a simple task kind of became a bigger task that I didn't foresee. So that's kind of the same with the programming thing, where it's all kind of all unknown to us. All right. So hopefully that helps. Let's go ahead then. Make sure we get his plan documented, and I'll put that on the bullet list, and that we'll make sure that we get from him so that we can pass on and kind of keep that solution. And then I'm gonna probably play around too and kind of do some installs on this or something on my side, and try to set up Node-RED myself, and maybe Galaxy, and maybe I'll start to get into the programming myself, just kind of learn things here and there. I don't want to, but I think it's probably important that I know a little bit, you know. So yeah, thanks.